this is Sonya with Artsy Solutions, and welcome to week 40 of using up scraps. And this week I just made some simple little envelopes, and just shabby chic, and they have like an acetate center or focal point. And I just basically did some stamping, and I did a little embossing on those images that are inside the frame. So I basically used some die cut negatives, scraps, fussy cut items, cheesecloth, some sprays, and you'll see in the process video. But right here's the first one, and it's just an envelope. And the envelopes came from, they were already pre-made. It was from a package I'd gotten from Michael's. And then here's the second one. And we have a fussy cut key and some words that I had gotten from, I made these last week on week 39 of using up scraps. And here's some more focal points, stamped and embossed. Then I added cheesecloth behind this fussy cut out image, and we've got some burlap and just some scrap papers that I added on here. Same with this. We have some burlap and another one of those words from last week's using up scraps. Another fussy cut out key and some fabric and cheesecloth fussy cut item. And then the last one is this one. Have a little jalopy and a little fussy cut out stamped butterfly. Fussy cut out one of the words from last week. Key and fabric, and that's pretty much it. So use these in your journal, scrapbook, whatever. So let me show you how I made these. Okay, so I'm just going to take some scraps, and I guess I'll just make some envelopes or something using some die cut negatives. I have a lot of them in here. So I'm probably just going to make some envelopes or something. Let's see what we've got. I've got a lot of scrap papers in here, and so I think we're going to do some of these. That's what I want to do. I'm going to make like some photo pockets, or yeah, I guess they could be considered photo pockets. And you can put these in scrapbooks or whatever. So I think I'm just going to use these, and we're going to add them to some envelopes and decorate. I think that's what we'll do. So to start out, I'm just going to cut these down. Let's see. First, I need to determine how big my envelopes are going to be. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take some envelopes, or pre-made envelopes. And these are from Recollections. It was a pack that I had purchased, marked down on clearance. So I'm just going to take some envelopes from out of here. I think I'll just do like 4. So, and before I cut our die cut negatives, I think I'm just going to go ahead and maybe stamp on these envelopes. Maybe give them just a hint of color and stamp on them or something. And I'm going to use my Graphic 45 script and Argyle stamps. So, and let's see what direction I've got these envelopes turned in. So I'm just going to use some pigment ink, some black pigment ink, and I'm just going to randomly stamp on some of these, barely, just so it has like an imprint. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with that now. Maybe I'll add just a little more. Okay, and I think I'll come in with some brown with it. Okay, so we've got that. And I think I want just a little hint of blue. So I'm just going to pick these up. And I'm going to lay down my spray cloth is what I like to call it, which is basically just an old towel. And I'm just going to add a little bit of spray on this. And it's just some droplets of spray. Bakers and Crafters Blue alcohol spray. And I'm just going to add some of this. And then I'm going to take this, there's some water in here. And I'm just going to add just a couple of drops of this alcohol spray in here. Well, maybe more than just a couple of drops. But some of it's going to be stronger than others in color, more saturated, but that's fine. I was trying to get that water out of this so I wouldn't mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to take my water, or watered down alcohol, and just kind of add some. It doesn't show up very well. I didn't expect that. But that's fine. And I can just basically kind of smear some of this. Some of the colors. I was hoping it would kind of pick up. That's fine. Let me see if I can put some drops of it on here and see if it's more saturated like that. That's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to dry it. I'm just going to take a heating tool and dry it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so they're dry now, and I just want to make sure I have them turned in the correct orientation to where the flap is at the top. Because when I sprayed this, I had it turned like this, but it would have been upside down. So let me just make sure I have all these turned correctly. So now we're going to make sure that these die cut negatives are going to fit on each one of the folders. I mean, on each one of the envelopes. And I have several of these die cut negatives, so I just needed 4 of them. So I'm just going to stack them together. They're going to be off-centered a little bit each, but I still want to make sure that regardless, they're all going to basically be the same size. It's just that the area of where the photo would go, that's going to be slightly different, just slightly. Okay, so now they're basically all the same size. Okay, and we're going to make some clusters out of them to a certain degree. But first, what we're going to do is take some acetate, and we're going to glue these to some acetate. So let's move the envelopes away. Set them to the side. And then each one of these are going to get, I'm just going to add some double-sided tape. I'm going to put some going around the edge. Let's see here. Now, I don't know what size this, I think this is 8mm or 10mm score tape. So since it's going to be too thick to go around this piece right here, I'm just going to skip it and start right here and complete that pass right there. And you'll notice I put the score tape right here instead of on this edge, simply because I want it pretty close to where the frame is. And I just want to make sure that part of the acetate's going to stick on that part of the frame. So yeah, we want to get it as close to the frame as we can get it to ensure that it's going to stick and not move around. And then I'm going to do all 4 of these just like that. Okay, so I have all of them taped up. And I've got some acetate already cut to size. So I'm just going to glue these on. I'm going to peel off the tape. Let me get something sharp to peel that with. So I'm just going to peel this loose. I hate when this stuff gets stuck to me. It's hard to let it go. Okay. So before I take the rest of it off, I want to make sure that it's lined up. Okay, so now I'll finish taking the rest of it off. Okay, and it basically just goes on down, and you've got your window, you've got your frame, and it's ready to get applied to something else. Now what I may do, it's not really even right here compared to this side. I might just take this little piece. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave it because I'm going to create like a cluster or some type of decoration over top of this frame. So I'm not even going to worry about it. So I'm just going to add the acetate to the rest of these and I'll be right back. So now we're going to decorate. And we're going to put an image behind here. And I'm going to stamp using some of this leftover scrap paper that came from a box of shoes. These were stuffed inside the shoes, and so I love that paper. It feels like a paper bag, but I'm not real sure what it is. But I like that print, so not print, but I like the color and the look of it. It's kind of somewhat transparent, not a whole lot, but I like that. So I'm just going to stamp on some images and tear them out. let me find some blank spaces. And then I'm going to stamp some of these images. And I'll use some black pigment ink, black tie. And the stamps that I'm using are the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous, the Journey Cling stamps. And then I'm also using Ringmaster. So I think I'll take these two jalopies, these trucks. I think I'll use 2 of those images. And find my little stamp block. I want to make sure that it picks up really well because I want this image to show good. I may emboss it, but I don't know how this paper is going to do. Actually, that's what I will do. I'm just going to get some clear embossing powder, and I think I will emboss these. Let me get a blank piece of paper or scrap paper to use to pick up this leftover detail embossing powder after I sprinkle it on here. So first let me get my image really well. It's like I said, I want it to show up really well because it's going to be a focal point. And it looks good even just like that, but I want it to pop. So we're just going to emboss it. I like that. So let's get some more images. Okay, so we have our images now. I think they turned out pretty good. And I like the black up against this brown. So we're just going to tear these out. One by one. Then we're going to bring our frames over so we can kind of see how it's going to look on the envelope. So make sure we have our envelopes turned correctly. And then we're going to kind of get an idea of how we're going to place it. You want to make sure you don't have anything on your acetate. And we're just going to kind of see what it's going to look like. Because it's going to be similar to like a specimen type, you know, deal. It's like a specimen envelope is what I'm going to call it. Specimen envelope. And then wherever you're wanting to place it at on your envelope is how we'll glue it down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and glue the image to the envelope. You can use paste or you can use art glitter glue or have whatever type of glue you have. I think I'll use paste. I've got some Craft Ball & Elmer's super glue, extra strength. And I think that'll work the best. Making sure that this image is down flat. Just put it in the center. And I'm just going to glue all of these down. Okay, so now it's time to go ahead and glue these on. And since this is acetate, I think I will use some double-sided tape. Seems like I've tried art glitter glue before, but it didn't hold very well. So yeah, I'm just going to use this double-sided tape. You could try using another type of glue, but I think so far for me, this is my go-to kind. So I'm just going to go ahead and go around all the edges with this tape. And I'm going to do that to all 4 of the frames. And I'm going to glue them. I'm going to glue them on to here, like so. I'll go ahead and do this one. But I wonder if I should add something up underneath, like some cheesecloth. I think I will, or some type of something. Maybe some burlap or something. I don't know. Up underneath. Or maybe not. I think I will. I'm going to add some burlap. I'm just going to glue that on there. I'm going to try to keep it in the spot it's already in. Just add some glue. And add some here. And then I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. Or, wait a minute, what did I do? Was that other one? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and peel this one off. And I want to first make sure I have it lined up. And make sure there isn't anything inside the window or the frame, because you don't want to get anything stuck inside of there. So we're just going to try to keep it centered as best we can. And then I'll come back through and then take the rest of this off. I want to keep this pretty simple, but not too plain, because I'm still going to add some stuff on here. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add the double-sided tape to all of these, and I'll be right back. So I decided not to add anything behind here, because when I did put this one on, you can still see it through the frame, but I can add some embellishments to cover that up. But I decided I'm just going to go ahead and place these on here. And then I'll do some fussy cutting, and then I'll add some more stuff onto here. So let me get this little bit right here. And then we're going to do some decorating. Alright. So here's what we have so far. Let's just kind of put them in perspective. We have our little images on here. So we've got some burlap on that. I guess I'll add some burlap on this one too. And I'm just going to start gluing. I'm not even going to think about it. No kind of concept. I'm just going to place it on here. And this is basically it. So we've got some with different words and some cheesecloth and fussy cut items. And we have another one. Looks like this. So they have a soft vintage shabby chic kind of look to them. Then you can add them to a journal or however you want to do it. You know, there's room. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos and my social media sites. And as always, I thank you so much for watching.